Hello and welcome to a brief clip from GameSpot of Thrones. If you'd like to watch the full episode, head over to youtube.com/GameSpot. But if you're going to keep watching here, then please be aware of spoilers. So we had the dizzying highs.
Crushing lows
Now
coming
it's
up.
time
Tedious
for them
lows.
tedious, bit kind of fillery lows. Tam, which was your least favourite bits?
So my main, I hated. So I've ranked these on hated, disliked, and just, no, I don't
Barely
really care.
tolerated.
Barely tolerated. Hated.
Yeah.
Dawn. Everything in Dawn. Sand snakes.
Dawn disappoints me.
Yeah. I mean, I've not read the books, so I don't know if. I mean, you've said before that the sand snakes are a little cooler in the books, but
They are badass in the books.
and they seem like they have the potential to be badass in the show as well. But there's something about them when they're together. Their bants is just so annoying.
That's the
Hello,
most
sister.
that's the most irritating-
001.
Exactly.
We reference Futurama there.
Yeah.
That's the most irritating part of Dawn, like the wasted potential part that you mentioned. Like they had the potential to be super cool.
And there was that whole bit where one of them decided to just show a boob for an episode.
For
Where it was
herself.
like really weird. Like, why you do? And they had a relationship, right?
Her and
Her
and Bronn were gonna have
Bronn,
a thing.
yeah. For like one episode, they were an item, and then Bronn just like
I feel
jetpacked
I
away.
feel like the writers were like, "Oh no, people like Bronn. Get him out.
Get him out of here, yeah. The annoying thing is that what they achieved or what they did was actually quite important to the overall story, right? So they got rid of Prince Doran and
Well,
basically
they're not supposed to.
Yeah, they're not supposed to, but like within the kind of
Yeah.
architecture of this narrative within the TV series, it's important because they've effectively aligned themselves with the Tyrells against the Lannisters, and the Lannisters are now impacted. But they did it at the very start of the season, so no one remembers anything that happened
But the thing is,
until
like,
the very end.
in the book, they did that, and Doran was alive. It was like Doran had been a Targaryen loyalist for years, and he could have
Yeah.
led them all. But
And what was Doran's purpose? Like,
I don't know. Like
he literally did nothing. He was there. He was like, I'm well sick. My brother's well dead.
he's meant to have
And then he got
gout.
ganked.
Yeah, and then he got.
And that was it. And the other thing is like, Dawn as a place was quite disappointing. It was like every major city in the series so far they spend the time to give it an identity, right? And they give it like a little time to present it and give it a personality as a place. Like you have King's Landing being this opulent place and Winterfell being this really cool. Dawn is like, as far as we know, it's hot and yellow.
No, Dawn
give
as
it-
we know it is that one palace, and there are no denizens.
Like spend some time just
And we know there's sand outside somewhere.
there are no
like
citizens.
the
in Dawn.
motivations of a lot of the motivations of the people of the characters within the major players within the cities can be seen in like the people, right? And how they how they're loved or disliked among the people is important to the story. Whereas with Dawn, you've got none of that. You're like, who
Well,
are
apparently
these people?
everyone loves
It's just-
everyone in Dawn except the Sand Snakes, who hate everyone.
Yeah.
It's just so weird. Like, and obviously we had Oberyn was the best part of Dawn. Like, and we barely saw him there. He was just a representative, and he was a badass.
Yeah.
And even he screwed up like an idiot. Just confirm your kills, god damn it.
Kill confirmed. I do agree with a lot of the points that you made. The biggest thing that kind of irked me though is how Tyrion kind of just didn't matter. Like everything he did just kind of got reset when Dany turned up.
Yeah.
The thing I found about Tyrion is that like they put him in Marine so he can be with Daenerys when she decides to come over, and he's got his pivotal role there. But they still need to justify Peter Dinklage being the top billing in the cast.
Yeah.
So like every episode they'll give him like a little speech or a fun story that doesn't add anything to the plot, or just like an awkward encounter with Grey Worm and Missandei. And
I
you're
know.
like,
Why don't we tell some jokes?
That was so awkward.
Why?
Yeah.
No.
And he started a joke and never finished it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my biggest season
Biggest
7
cliffhanger of
prediction.
season
Like,
6.
please finish your joke, Tyrion. And when the Sons of the Harpy were being a real pain in the ass,
Yeah.
like they were like, okay, let's kill him. Tyrion was like, no. We got to secure peace.
Yeah.
They secure like a really awkward,
Tenuous.
fragile peace, and they turn up and besiege the city, and Danny's like, just kill him.
Yeah, just kill him.
Kill
Take
two.
him
Let
on.
one duck.
Yeah.
So like none of his actions really made a difference.
Yeah.
He sent like Varys disappears and gets Dawn on side. So he really did more.
To be fair,
He was basically just he was the guy that you send in to keep the plants watered and the pets fed when you go on holiday.
Yeah.
And then
And that's
Danny
exactly
comes
what I
back
did.
and is like, yeah, it's all right. Like, you know, plan's a bit wilty. I'll sort that out. You
He
can't
helped,
actually rely on
out.
he helped like breathe some life back into the city, right? That's the one lasting impression that he left
Yeah.
of his presence there. So like he got, because by the end of the season, like the markets were bustling again and people were out and
You
about.
got the red priests and priestesses.
Yeah, on
That was
side.
another thing that actually annoyed me because we expected, or at least I expected, the Red Priestess to be a big plot point because she was given time in the entire season 6 trailer. We were like, oh, cool, second red woman. And then she was like, yeah, I'll talk about Danny, and then leaves. And then we never see anything again.
Yeah.
We just see
Yeah.
people being like, Danny is spot on, mate.
Yeah.
Good, you got them dragons.
Put up some flags, sell your eggplants and vegetables. Don't kill each other, and then Sons of the Harpy actually do come back anyway. So again, it's just another inconsequential moment.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that they had to start to ship Miss Sunday and Grey Worm just to make those characters interesting, just to give
Yeah.
it a little bit more
Just
life.
awkward.
I mean, they were a
Bants.
full-on couple beforehand, right? Like they were doing the
Well,
dirty in season 5.
No, he
No,
was
they
he
were
was
flirting.
looking at her having a wash.
Yeah.
That counts for me. That's enough for me.
The bit I didn't really like this season was like just how Arya's storyline in Bravos culminated. I thought it was a bit disappointing. I guess because like you see her getting whacked by the waif, like week in, week out. You see the waif just completely kicking her ass, and then she does her weird out of character thing that I'm not entirely convinced the waif would have fallen for because she's so out there with it, and she's slamming money down, being really obvious, walking around. I don't think the waif is that stupid. But then, so when you get to that final confrontation scene where she's like, she cuts the candle, we as the viewer don't get the satisfaction of watching the waif die. We just get to see her face with the eyes gouged out, put in the Hall of Faces. That annoyed me. And also just the way that she sort of, like Jaqen brought her to the House of Black and White and trained her and, tried to make her no one. And then he finally says, you are no one. And she goes, all right, peace out. That's it.
Bye.
Thanks for
I owe
training.
you absolutely nothing. Bye. And just leaves. And jetpacks away. Again, I mean, we've spoken before about how, I'm going to come out and say it, how bad the passage of time is in this season. I think Arya, Yara and Theon and particularly Varys are ones that have really suffered from that just because it's so
A lot
irritating.
of people mention, obviously there is time passing in between these, but I mean, there's ways of showing that, and this season the show has made no attempt of doing that.
Yeah.
Like for anyone, most people will see these things. For most people won't pay too much mind to it, but for people who are, does come off as feeling a bit inconsistent, a bit weird with the passage of time, and it. At the same time as stuff like flashbacks and time traveling, all this other crazy stuff happening, you're like, what is? It's kind of like it skews your perspective of time.
Yeah.
I think it's something that we bring up a lot, and a lot of people are like, "Come on, guys," but we're like, it's an important thing, right?
yeah.
It took us out, like, segueing a bit from the Arya thing, but when we saw Varys, it took us out of the moment so much that we were like, is he a faceless man then? Because
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
travelled real far,
Yeah.
real fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then we just worked out that both.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing about Arya's thing as well is that we've spent however long in the House of Black and White, and we're still no closer to really understanding how the faceless man thing works.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
pull a face off and just...
Pull a face off, or do you need to get one from the wall?
Holy
Because then how
crap.
would you take that to Westeros? Because, would it not need to keep moisturized in a bag or something?
Just
You
a
know what I mean?
Ziploc bag full of, like, formaldehyde. Just be like, got one.
Yeah.
I've just realized. Have you guys seen Face Off? What if he was? John
So-
Travolta is a faceless man.
Don't
It's not
do
a Nicolas
this.
Cage
Oh my
movie.
god! I have to go, guys.
There's a thread I need to write.
Oh, to Reddit.
I have fanfic to write.